Okay, let's start with today's topic. Yes, we are live. Okay, guys, chalo, let's start. Let's go. So, we are starting with week number 3. Okay, so today we are starting with week number 3. To be precise, it is week 3, day 2. Yesterday was off, and now let's start with the plan for this week. Okay, so right from today, main focus for the next 2 weeks, week number 3 and week number 4. So this is nothing but it's a agile sprint. So what is the agile sprint? Agile is a software development approach. So from beginning till the end of project development, how people should work. So one kind of model is agile model. In the future coming sessions, we will understand agile in very much depth, not required right now. For now, you should understand that in order to work on the projects, we need some software development approach, and agile is that approach. Okay, one of the approach commonly used in the industry. And agile says you develop software into some time frame. So let's say 2 weeks sprint means every 2 weeks you finish some set of features. Once you do it, again next sprint is going to start. In that you can work for another set of features. So that means for every sprint, we will finish some set of features, then next sprint will happen, then next sprint will happen. Like this agile model works. So our sprint number 1 is week number 3 and week number 4. Then we will be having sprint number 2, which is week 5 and week 6. And then we will be having sprint number 3, which is going to be our week 7 and week 8. Week 8, no demo, no live sessions. Till week 7, we will be having live, but we will discuss some tasks and other things which you can complete in the week 8 also, or you can complete the demos as part of that. But yes, during interview, they say, how was your trainee program arranged? So you should say, initial 10 days, week 1, week 2, we were working on the core topics required to work on the project, the base knowledge about domain, what the project is about, and common technical training was managed. After that, from week 3 onwards, we started working as per agile model, and there were total 3 sprints that we were working. And every sprint is like Monday to Friday to 10 working days. Whenever public holiday comes, that goes outside. So 10 working days, that's the model. Okay, fine. And this is purely 10 days of development activities. That is what we are going to do. So different companies, depending upon the project, might have a different cycle. Our 10 working days is all dev sprint. So you can say we are doing dev sprint, means pure development. Developers itself are doing the testing as part of these 10 days. Okay, fine. Now, starting about what is the major plan of this sprint number 1. Okay, our major focus is to work upon PayPal provider service. So in week 2, we said PayPal provider service is a microservice where all PayPal integration code we will be writing. Nothing but calling the API, OAuth API, next create session or create order, next capture order. So coding required to make these things possible. And let's see, maybe get order, we will understand. But majorly in PayPal provider service, we need to do coding to the PayPal system. So guys, you have to create your PayPal dashboard account, PayPal dashboard, because right from tomorrow, we need to get started using that client ID and client secret and start doing coding of that. So please make sure you have the client ID and client secrets. Okay, so this is what it is. Now, starting today, we will be doing the base work required so that we can start doing the coding tomorrow. Okay, so what is the aim of today's session? when we are connecting today, week number 3, day number 2, we will be doing PayPal provider service setup. Okay, what does setup mean? Now just imagine, in order to do the coding of PayPal provider service, one project is required, right? Now just imagine, in the week 1, week 2, we created this first app project. So finally there is only one project. In that itself, all the coding of that project is going to be done. Now imagine that you started working in the team. So you are in company, you started working in the team, and now the team is having 5 developers. Just imagine, all 5 developers want to make some modification to the PayPal provider service itself. So you can imagine, all 5 developers will not create 5 separate projects, right? Think about it. They all want to do coding. If they all create 5 separate projects, they will do parallelly coding somewhere, right? But eventually it is only one project where the code of 5 people should come. So please understand, okay, let's say we have a scenario, okay, say we need to develop many features in one project, okay. We cannot allow each developer to have his own project, okay, since each developer to create his own project, because it will create 5 separate projects. But for deploying in prod, we need only one project with features of 5 developers. Okay, take a minute here to understand. In the week 1 and week 2, we created only one project, we coded it. But as soon as you start working in teams, in one project itself, multiple members are supposed to do the coding. So who creates this single project? And how do these 5 people can do development? So it's complex. I just want to show you, okay, there is a complexity. One project, 5 people want to develop parallelly 5 features. So IT has a process of working. It's a system in itself, which we need to study today. Okay, how multiple members can work on the same project. So IT has a process for that, how the tracking is going to happen, how the code will be combined together from these 5 people, how these 5 people will test their own code, how it will be given to the tester. So there is a big process in IT. But first, understand the problem statement. Okay, we have only one project which will finally be deployed in production. This is a basic requirement, only one project. Okay, but we have a situation, 5 people need to develop, let's say, 5 features parallelly, and then combine into single project. And then this single project will run in production. So IT has a process for doing this. Every company will be having a process. Without this, projects cannot happen in the IT industry. Okay, so it's not like everybody does individual applications. No, all the code has to be combined in one place, then the testing will happen, UAT will happen. So we need to understand how things are going to be. Okay, now firstly, in order to achieve this, we need to use some version control tool, nothing but Git kind of a software. Earlier there were some other alternates also, like SVN, clear case, but nowadays majority are going ahead with Git related software, which is for version control. Nothing but any change which is happening in the code, tracking is going to be done via this manner. Okay, so one by one, let's try to understand. First, understand the problem, that 5 people want to develop 5 features. So how will they do the coding? How will they combine the code together? how does they individually develop, individually test, versus how they will combine and then testing will happen, how it will go to production. There is a full end-to-end process for that. They will not develop 5 different projects itself, right? It has to be combined. So there is a process for that, and Git is used as part of this. Okay. Next, what is the solution? Let's discuss the solution, how the industry works, and same thing you need to discuss during interview if they are asking you any discussions about this. Okay. So basically, what happens is there is a concept called as Git branching. First, let's discuss the solution, then we will try to understand each part of that. Okay, there is a concept called as Git branching. Okay, branch is nothing but code copy. Okay, let's say for example, this is our first project, right? First app. Okay, let's say this is our first project, first app. So in this first app folder, all that code is going to be available, src, main, and all these Java classes will be available. So we can say this code is nothing but one branch. For now, simply just assume it's one copy. So you can say one branch is nothing but one copy. Okay. So if you want to create a second branch, just copy it once more. For example, so this is your entire project. Whatever code is there in this, you will take it, you will copy this, separate, and let's just call this as branch 2. So what is happening? Everything which is available here is also available here. Similarly, you can create another branch called as branch 3. So branch is nothing but copy. It's like entire project which is here will be available. All the code will be available here. Okay. Now, IT has a end-to-end process of working. Let's understand what that is. Okay. So guys, let's open up a diagram. Let's open up a diagram. First, I will discuss with you the solution. Then we will get into more details. What we will have is, let's say this is our project that we want to create. PayPal provider service. PayPal provider service. In this, there is going to be code. So how do we do the coding? First, we will create one copy of whatever is the code here and call it as the main or master branch. So the way in your local, this is one copy. Let's say we call this as a master or main copy. Okay, so entire project copy, we will call it as a master or main copy. That is step number 1. Okay, next. The way we were copying that folder, first app was copied to branch 2. Like this, they will create another copy called as integration branch. Nothing but whatever code is available here, they will copy it and make it available here. That is integration branch. And then there will be something called as a feature branch. Feature branch. So let's say there is going to be another feature 2 branch, another feature 3 branch, and feature 4 branch, and feature 5 branch. First, just look at the solution, then we will get into details. Okay. So from master branch or main branch, we create an integration branch. From integration branch, we create feature branches. And developers are supposed to code on feature branches. Okay. So developers are supposed to code on these feature branches. So what is happening? In the end, yes, it is one project itself. The way here we can look at the folder, it is one project itself, first step. But multiple copies of that is maintained. Here you can imagine everything is copy of the same thing. Okay, same project, multiple copies. How it basically project development happens, let's understand it step by step. Let's say today's sprint is starting. So today is sprint day 1. Okay, means we have not started development upon the features. So today is the day 1 of the sprint. Let's say as part of this, there are 5 developers and they need to develop 5 features in PayPal provider service. Okay, so 5 developers are there. They want to develop 5 features. How do they do parallel development? How to do parallel development? So that they cannot do it like first you complete, then after you I will complete. By that way, it will take 1 month to complete 5 features. But when everybody does it in parallel, within 2 weeks, we can finish 5 features. So how to do this parallel development? For that, this concept of copy of the code will be applied. For this concept of branching will be applied. Okay, what will happen? As soon as 5 features needs to be developed in PayPal provider service, what will developers do is developer D1. Okay, developer D1 is going to create one feature branch from integration branch, and this guy is going to do coding in this one. Okay, parallel development we are talking about. So next, what will happen? There is a developer D2. This guy also wants to do development of the feature. What it will do? From integration branch, it will create a feature branch and it will start working upon this code. So what is happening? Parallel development is possible. So they will take whatever code is there in integration branch and they will copy it and create multiple branches like this. And every developer will accordingly work on their feature branch. By this way, what will happen? One guy will not interfere with other. So parallel development will happen like this because they are working on separate code copies. They don't interfere with each other. So as a developer, what you will do is whenever you are starting a new sprint, your first work will be understand which project you need to make changes for your feature. Then go to the integration branch. From integration branch, cut a copy for yourself called as a feature branch, and then you have to start doing coding here. Other developers will cut a copy from integration and they will start doing development here, and like this it will happen. Okay, so what are the steps for the developer? For every sprint, okay, developer identifies which project I have to do coding. Nothing but microservices are there. There might be 5 microservices in the system, but your feature needs only 1 microservice code. So you will create only for 1 microservice. Think about it. So what is the step number 1? For every sprint, developer identifies which project, nothing but microservice, I have to do coding. Okay. Step number 2, for that microservice, you will create a feature branch from integration branch and you will do coding into that, and developer will code in feature branch. Please be aware, every branch has a different purpose. One by one, as we cover the topic, full clarity is going to come, but for now just understand developer will code in feature branch. So we can imagine if there are 5 features, then 5 feature branches will be created. Okay, and each developer will work on their individual branches. Okay, so this is how, by this, parallel development can happen. Okay, this is what is the first part of the system, branching model. Okay, So please understand, for every microservice, you don't work with one code itself. You work with code copies, the way we created copy paste, right? So same project, but 3 copies are there. So when you are doing project development, you don't directly work with only one central code. Rather, you work on copies. And there is a process of how much will go here, what is the purpose of this branch, how to do testing on this, and how to move the changes into integration branch. Everything is a process. And what is the purpose of integration branch? What is the purpose of master branch? Then there is something called as release branch also. What is the purpose of release branch? So all of this thing, yes, there is a need. So one by one we will understand. But guys, did you get the base concept? One microservice code is not just one code. It's multiple copies. Okay, in the project, multiple copies will be there. Every developer works upon their copies. Now, how to create these copies, how the developer works, once we see today practically, everything will be clear. Today itself, we will discuss all these things one by one. But get the first concept. When you are working on one microservice, it is not just one code. You have multiple copies so that every developer can do parallel work in that copy. How these copies are combined together and all, there is a process for that. We will understand it one by one. Okay. Now, let's say this. We already launched the term called as, in order to create this code, maintain these copies, okay? In order to maintain this code, multiple copies, okay? Track changes. Now just imagine, think practical scenarios here. Okay, somebody makes a mistake in feature 2. So system needs a clarity. Okay, which person did that change? Yes or no? PayPal provider is having 5 features. Somebody modified this feature and committed some wrong code or put some wrong code here. System should have that kind of a tracking. Okay, which person has modified which line of code in this project. So tracking is required. So in order to do all this thing, in order to maintain this code, multiple copies and tracking the code, okay, track code, which is nothing but who made what changes. Everything needs to be tracked. Okay, let's say if somebody did wrong coding, okay, there has to be an option to revert the changes which is done by this person. Means if you have written 3 methods here and you have made a mess, people can undo your changes. They can just simply say, okay, whatever 3 methods were written by this developer, remove those 3 methods from the code. So kind of control is there to manage your code. Okay, so a lot of these benefits are there. In order to maintain the code, multiple copies, track the code, who made what change. Okay, in order to do all this, we need a version control system or version control tool, and the popular one available is Git in the market in current time. Okay, previously, long time ago, SVN, ClearCase, these were some alternate options, but nowadays almost every project is using Git itself for this version tracking or code maintenance. Okay, now that means this project that we are going to have, microservice that we will be maintaining it as a Git repository. So there is the terminology in Git called as repository. So every microservice code that we have, we will call it as a Git repository. Okay. Now, Git repository allows us to have these kind of branches. It allows us to track the changes, who is doing what. Okay, so Git repository has inbuilt all those mechanisms. Okay, and now where do we keep these Git repositories? So you're newly starting in the code. Where will this code will be available? Centrally, where it should be there, right? So because you want to start a new feature. So next question comes, where will the code be maintained? Okay, different approaches are there. Sometimes in the project, you might create one machine and say all that code will be available in that central machine itself. From there you take and you work. Okay, nothing but have a physical machine. So I've been into some projects where people did this drama also. Have physical machine where all the code and branches will be maintained. And then via network, you all connect to that physical server, get the code, and then work with that code. So I've been into some projects where even this kind of setup was there. But this is not a standard way of doing it, because it is a lot of maintenance. You need to have another machine which runs 24/7. All the other laptops connect to that machine, get the code. And this is not really ideal way of doing in the current times. So where do people keep this code or Git repo? Okay, where do people maintain this Git repo? Another option is maintain in cloud. Maintain in cloud. Cloud means like AWS is a cloud. Somewhere, okay, it is going to be all managed for you. Backups, duplication, this, that, with a lot of features. Okay. And the cloud services which do this Git hosting. Git hosting means they host the Git repositories. So these are the terms. So the cloud services or cloud service providers which do Git hosting, the popular names are GitHub or Bitbucket. Bitbucket is by Atlassian, the people who gave Jira. Okay. Or there are some other providers also in the market. So different projects will use any one of the provider. Okay. Any one of the provider, they will say, and they will say, okay, we want to maintain our project code, microservice code, first into Git repository. Repository short form, they can just use it as repo. Second, where should this Git repo be maintained? Nowadays, almost everybody goes for a cloud-based solution, and they can choose any of the Git hosting provider like GitHub, Bitbucket, or whatever. Okay. For our project development, we will be working with Bitbucket. Okay. So today, what you are supposed to do is you need to create your account in Bitbucket. Okay. So there is this simple kind of a website called as bitbucket.org. Okay. Just go ahead, create your account, use your Gmail email ID. With that, you can have your account here. Okay. So step number 1, do this thing. Okay, fine. Now you can imagine, once you create an account here, they have a way of organizing things into projects and repositories. So you can imagine just some folder spaces there. For example, for our program, we can just call it as, let's say, October 25 CT is nothing but name of our project. Okay. And in this project, we are going to have 3 microservices or 2 microservices. So here we can create payment processing service as our Git repo 1, and then we will be having PayPal provider service as our Git repo 2. Okay. So guys, this is how the setup. So once you open an account in Bitbucket, here multiple projects will be there, repositories will be there. Repository, you should assume your microservice code of one project. So here you say first app. So this first app is going to be maintained as one repository in Git. And these repositories will be under some projects. It's only nesting, like folder organizing. That's it, you can imagine, right? So under this project, there is going to be, under this project, there will be these 2 repositories. So let's say in the companies, you start working for a new project. Let's say 1 year you worked upon this project, and in this one, they had n number of microservices. They will have all of them organized here. And then you move to a new project. That new project will have a new project folder. Under that, all the microservices of that project is going to be there. Okay, something like this, the entire space is going to be organized. Okay, so in the company they will do the proper setup to make it all available. Okay, fine. Now just imagine, this also depends. Okay, this also depends. If the company is very big company, okay, they might have multiple Bitbucket accounts and then they organize their projects. So it completely depends. It's not like all the company projects will be in the same Bitbucket account. No, they might have multiple accounts. Sometimes client specific accounts will be there. Nothing but the business client people, they will set up their accounts and say ki all my code should be in my Bitbucket account, right? So these kind of restrictions might also be there. So but wherever finally some account will be there, in that some project will be there, under that project some microservices are going to be available, okay, as repositories. So when we start our today's setup, so first create the Bitbucket account. Step number 2, create this kind of an account, create this kind of a project so that we can start putting things under this. Okay. Second, create project with this name just to track our October related progress. Okay. After that, we need to create one Git repository, create Git repository. And for the current sprint, our focus is on PayPal provider service. So we will create repository of PayPal provider service. These are going to be our 3 steps. Okay. Chalo, let's do this right now. So already Bitbucket account is created for me. So I can just go here and Bitbucket account is created. Now we want to create a new project. So let's create that. This drop down is available. Here itself we can come and say create a project. Okay. What name we want? October 25 CT. Okay. Next, one thing, when you're working on this project related code, put that as private project. So guys, if you don't keep it as a private project, your project code will be publicly available. Means if somebody comes to your Bitbucket account, they will be able to see this code there. Okay, and generally whenever you work on any client projects, you cannot make it public. Okay, that is in violation with the client agreement. So in the company, when you're creating these projects and all, so generally only seniors will do that. They don't give that responsibility for junior. But anyways, you need to make sure always client project code and company project code is always private in nature. It's not publicly open. Okay? And that is the reason these LLMs and all, they are not trained on the private code of the project. They are trained on open source, something which is publicly available across the globe. But the point to be noted here, okay, when creating project, make it private, so only accessible internally to you. This is important. Okay, fine. And keep the same practice in your company code also. Accidentally also, if you make it public, you never know, clients might put fine on your company, and sometimes if serious code is there, it might lead to termination also. So it's not a small thing, it needs to be dealt very seriously. So otherwise there will be consequences. Okay, please be aware of that. Okay, fine. So we create a October 25 CT project, making it private, so it is only within the company access and your account, and then go ahead creating a project. Okay, fine. So just note, whenever the project is created, by default, it will not have any repository. It's an empty project. So currently we only created this much. Empty project will be there, no repositories. Just observe under projects, they're launching new features. Right now it's under beta. Beta means under still testing and not fully stable and live, still experiments going on. But fine, once they make it more available, then we can look at it. But for now, you can see under this project, October 25 CT, whatever microservices you will be having, it will be created as separate repository. Okay, and currently there is nothing here, so it is all empty. Now the thing is, you can create a new repository here using create repository option, or even if it is available from here also, create repository. So wherever you choose, you can have that option, create repository. Guys, step number 3. So what is the step number 1? You create your Bitbucket account. Then you create a project. All microservices of this project will be grouped together. Next, each microservice. Okay. Each microservice, or we can put this description here itself. Each microservice of October 25 CT will be maintained in this project or under this project. Next aim is we need to create a repository PayPal provider service. How do you create a repository? This is the option for that. Just create a repository. From the drop down, you need to choose the project here. Okay. So all the projects, if you are having multiple projects, from this drop down, it will be available. And this is a private project. So something like lock symbol is coming there. Next, give the name of your repository. So whatever is your microservice name, that name you will be choosing here. So let's say this is our microservice, PayPal provider service. And let's just call this as October 25 CT. Okay, it's just for alias grouping, that's it. But primarily microservices, PayPal provider service. We know that here all the code of PayPal will be available. So since the project is private, all the repositories will be private itself. Okay, and by default, when you do create repository, it is creating Git repository only. Okay, so please be aware. So it is creating Git repository itself, and then you create this create repository. Okay, you do this create repository. Okay, just notice right now we are under this repository code. So for example, earlier you go to, this is the project. Earlier here there was no other repository, so it was all empty. 17 seconds ago, we have created one repository here. So when you click on that repository, you get other set of options. So please be aware. So we have done the third step also. What is that? We created a new repository like this. So currently it's empty folder. There is nothing here. One file is available called as git ignore. Okay, why is that git ignore required? We will discuss it later. But just see, if you go to this source, nothing is available here. It's not having any source code. There is no src main Java. There is no pom.xml. There is no code here. It's empty. So guys, what have we done so far? Okay, we created a Git repository inside Bitbucket, and it's empty. But notice one thing. Okay, by default, when you created that kind of a repository, just notice here, it is having a main branch. So people might sometimes call it as master branch also. So this, whenever you create one repository, this will be created by default. Please be aware of that. Okay, main branch or master branch, it will be created by default. Okay, now guys, for the first time we are discussing this. All the code which is in main branch or master branch will be deployed in production environment. Okay, so guys, production environment is where live customers will be using the system. So the code changes from this place will be deployed here, production system. So live code is going to be maintained here. You know the prod environment. What is an environment? some set of services running together. Okay, like this we have already we covered in week 1, week 2 itself, dev, QA, UAT. Okay, now there is a production. So code from this place is going to be deployed. Now just imagine, eventually there is only one project itself, PayPal provider service, but multiple copies of that is available. So you need to take one project only and deploy it into one environment, right? So when you're doing this microservice, PayPal provider service is one microservice code. You want to deploy it into this place. So what do? You go to the master branch or main branch, take whatever code is available here and deploy. So there is a structure of how things happen in companies. Okay. So we can just make a note about this. What is the significance? Main branch or master branch. Okay. What is the significance? Code from this branch is deployed in prod system. It is mandatory for everybody to know these things. When you go to interview and then you say we have worked on projects, they will assume default you know all these things. Means it's not a wow factor, I know these things. They will assume it is mandatory for you to know. If you say I'm not aware of all this, then they will doubt your entire knowledge and say that means you did not even work on any project. So it's a must know knowledge, non-negotiable. It's not optional at all. So please focus. How do we do the coding on a microservice? We need to have tracking. We need to have multiple branches, multiple copies. There is a process of working. There are certain softwares needed for that. So what is the process? This branching model is the process for that. And what is the purpose of each branch? Yes, everything comes as part of the process. But in keeping it simple, we need a Git repository which can track all these changes. These repositories can be hosted in cloud platforms like Bitbucket. And there we have projects and repositories. And we kept the repository here. The default master or main branches already created. Purpose of this is production deployment. So everything is a copy. You can take this, build a Maven package, and then deploy it here. Jar file will go, run it same what we discussed in week 1, week 2, Java space -jar, and it will run. No change there at all. Okay. So what is the next point? When we create repo for first time, it will have default main or master branch created. Okay, and the purpose of this branch is to do production deployment. Just be aware of that. Okay, fine. Now what we need to do is generally one-time activity. Your seniors will do this. Juniors they will not even ask this work to be done because it is a one-time activity. What is that? Step number 4. When creating a project for first time, okay, from master branch or main branch, create integration branch. Now please note this. Sometimes people might have different branching strategy. You can imagine it's like so many companies are there across the world. Okay, so many projects are there, so many employees are there, so many smart people are there. Sometimes project to project they might follow a different branching strategy. Please be aware. During interview you should say, in our project we did it like this. Okay, in next project when you are going, if there is a variation in this, you can then learn that and then work on that project. But for now, whatever we are discussing, that you say we work like this in our project. That's it. Okay, but please be aware, if you see new things, it's fine. Different people might make different decision, and then accordingly they will implement it. So step number 4, we need to create from master branch and integration branch. What is the purpose of integration branch? We will understand shortly. But first, let's create that branch. How to create it? Okay, options are there in Bitbucket itself. So you don't have to do much more here and there. Just click a few buttons and this will be created. How we can do that? Let's have a look here. You go back to your repository. So this will be done when newly for the first time this repository is created. Now you can imagine, even if 100 developers are working, this is a one-time activity. So one person will do this, not all the people, one person, because creating that repository in Bitbucket is a one-time activity. From master branch, creating integration branch, again one-time activity. So one person will do that. Okay, others will only use it. That's it. So what will happen is we will go under branches section. So there are multiple sections on the left hand side. Source means the source code. Next, branches is where we can put now branches. Just imagine here there is a drop down. You can say all branches. So currently there is only main branch or the master branch. Only one branch is available. There is nothing else. Means only one copy is available. Okay. Now what we will be doing is we will create another copy from this one called as integration. How do you do that? Create branch option. Click on create branch. Okay. There is something called as branch type. Okay. Bug fix branch. When do we need a bug fix branch? We will discuss that separately. Feature branch. Okay, we spoke about feature branches already. So when we create a feature branch, then we will discuss about that. Okay. But anyways, there is a type of branch also. Bug fix, feature, hot fix, release, and other. Integration belongs into other. What is the purpose of each of that? We will discuss it when the right time comes. Okay. Because everything expects you to understand one new topic, one new concept. We don't want to launch that because right now we are building an integration branch. So integration branch will be on a other category, and you will create from main branch, you will create an integration branch. Just name it integration. Don't make any typos in your branch names and other places, because it is visible for everybody working on that project. All your team members can see it. So be careful when you're typing. Don't be in a rush. It doesn't look good. It looks like not focused person. Even if silly typo mistakes are happening, you should be careful with all these things. Okay, fine. So guys, our next step is we need to create a branch. From master branch, we need to create an integration branch. How do you do? Go to the branches section, click on the create branch. This pop-up is going to come. Choose others. From which branch? Main branch. We want to create integration branch. Go ahead. You can look at this graphical diagram representation also, and then create. Okay. So one branch is created. How do we know this? Click on this branches section again. Click on this all branches. Just notice earlier only one was there. Now two branches are available. Very good. So how much have we done here? We created a Git repository for PayPal provider service. We created a master branch. Next, we created integration branch. Let's discuss the purpose of integration branch. Okay, this is really interesting. Code from the integration branch will be deployed in the QA environment for testing purpose. Okay, tester environment. Testers are going to test the code from integration branch. Again, it's a code copy. It's a microservice code copy itself, but code from this is going to be given to testers to test. Okay, yeah. So tester is not directly going to test it in the master related branches. That will be different. Before you give it to the live customers, if the tester wants to do testing, that is a different case. But otherwise, general day-to-day testing which the tester is going to do, it will be happening here. Okay, it is going to be happening here. So QA environment. So it is an environment. QA means quality analyst or testers. They are going to do the testing. For them, the code is going to come from this place, integration branch. Just be aware of that. Okay, fine. How the basic approach happens and why tester does the testing on this one. Now just imagine sprint has started. Guys, listen this part very carefully. Everybody, please put your full attention, because yes, I can understand in the beginning for some freshers, like where to code, that itself is a challenge. That needs knowledge. It's not about just applying your coding skills, but where to code. Because if you code in a wrong branch, your code might be missed out and not even go to the production system. Okay, so there is a process. So you need to be aware of that. So what is going to happen? Let's say today sprint is starting. Just imagine today is the day one. Okay, day one is there of the sprint. Now, let's say 3 people want to do the development. What they will do is initially there is going to be an integration branch. Integration branch. Okay, or let's just use the same representation. There is integration branch, and from this integration branch, 3 developers want to work. They will create feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. Now just imagine developer will do their entire development and testing here of these 3 features, but tester is not going to test each one of your code. Why? Because how will you deploy it into production system? Think about it. You will deploy in prod 3 features together. For example, you're using, let's say, Instagram. So in Instagram, n number of features are there, right? Liking, commenting, sharing, reels, posts, images. So let's say you build 3 features. Each feature is developed separately, but when it runs in production, all features run together, right? So tester is going to say, I am not going to check your individual features separately in your feature branches. In sprint number 1, if we say 3 features will be completed, what tester will say is, once your local development is done, once your testing is done, you need to put your code in integration. This is one copy itself, right? So whatever coding this guy did should come here. Now let's assume this guy did this guy did a coding a.java. This guy did coding b.java. This guy did coding c.java. So whenever your work is completed, you will move your code from this place to this place. Here a.java is going to be available. Okay, tester will say, fine, in this place I will do only testing. I will not test here. I will test only from this place. Now just imagine after one day, this guy also finished his feature. Tester will say again, okay, put your code in the same place. Means this guy will also put the code here only. So here what happened? First a.java code was there, and now code of this new person is also going to be there, b.java. So what is happening? The code gets combined at one place, and tester is interested to test that combined code, because in the production, all the 3 features will go, means everything has to be combined someplace. And tester will say, I would like to test that central place. Why? Because when you are combining the code, what if this developer deletes the code of a.java? That risk is there because combining is happening. If a mistake happens, tester wants to test it and catch it, even accidental mistakes. That is the reason tester will not be testing on your feature branches. They will test on integration, because this is the combined code. So this is the mechanism here. So when there is a 3rd feature, this guy completed it. Again, this guy will combine the code here, and then it is going to have the 3rd change is also c.java. Everything will come here itself in one project, one microservice. It's a copy, right? So all the 3 files will come at one place, and from this you will deploy it into the QA environment. Again, AWS QA environment. All these environment discussions, profile discussions, we did that. So now it will be easy for you to catch one new point along with environments. So how do we do Java service deployment in every environment? You need to look at right code copies. It's not just one project that you have multiple copies of that project, and which copy gets deployed in which environment. That's the process part of project development. So this is going to happen here. All the code will be combined into integration, and from this place the code is going to be deployed into the QA environment. This is how QA environment. Okay, guys, please share your understanding score, because these are building blocks. You cannot go wrong here. You cannot go wrong here. If juniors don't understand, you don't progress further. You discuss with your team members, get thorough understanding, double check. Am I doing right? Check it with your team. Okay, please share your understanding score. Chalo guys, but under confusion, don't do this thing, because you might code for 1 week. If you don't manage branches together, your feature cannot be deployed even for QA testing if you don't code it properly. Okay, please mark your understanding score, guys. So if there is a confusion during projects, discuss it once more with your team members. But confusion may don't put things, it's very risky. Full work becomes waste. Okay, chalo. Okay, fine, let's go further. Next, everybody. So code is going to be available here, and now there are a lot of things. There could be something like there is already one class, let's say d.java in this one. Everybody takes a copy of that. So this guy has, there are multiple scenarios now. d.java is here also, d.java is here also. Because just imagine, all these feature branches are created from integration. So if there is a d.java here, it comes here also, here also, here also. Now, let's say in the same file, they want to make changes. M1 method, this guy wants to do M2 method, and this guy wants to do M3 method. Imagine if there is already a M method here, and this guy is modifying the M method. This guy is also modifying the M method. This guy is also modifying the M method. Now, there are a lot of mechanisms here. Okay, whenever they are trying to combine their code, this person also modified, this guy also modified. Git is not going to allow you to like merge together. Git is going to tell you a terminology like conflict. Hey, already some other guy has done the same modification. You are also doing it. Please check which code should finally come in this final copy d.java M method. So Git is going to do all that. That is where we need this kind of version controlling system. And when the conflict comes, you can realize, oh, this guy made another line change, I'm making another line change. Then you talk to, it has to be manually resolved only. You need to talk to that developer. Okay, what was your requirement? Why did you modify this M method like this? I have this kind of a requirement. And together you will write final code which works for that person also, which works for you also. So, but anyways, it's inbuilt into the design of process. Okay, when you combine, if there are any problems during combining, okay, yes, the tool is going to tell you, okay, there is an issue and you need to then manually sort it. But yeah, everything will be finally available in one place, and from that place it will be deployed on QA. That's how the journey is going to be. Okay, fine guys, let's move forward. Okay, good to see 5s and 4s. Let's continue further. So currently, what have we done here? We understood the significance of integration branch. It is for QA deployment. Next, all the code will be finally combined into integration branch and then deployed on QA environment. Okay, this much of clarity is there. Next step, step number 5. Let's just mention these things in written. Integration branch. Okay, code will be deployed in QA environment where tester will test. Okay, and second thing you need to be aware is all the feature code will be combined together in integration branch. Okay. If there are conflicts, if conflicts, okay, during code combining, technical term is nothing but merging, code merge, people will say, code merge. If there is a conflict during code merge, you need to manually resolve such that code of developer D1 and D2 both are working. Now just take this example here. If you are writing new methods m1, m2, m4, okay, then merging will not have problem. So Git is very intelligent. Same class d.java, you wrote different methods, easily combining will happen. Your d.java will come with m1, m2 and m4. It will come directly. But if there is single method, in that one particular same line is modified 3 different ways, then conflicts will come. So conflict will come very intelligently. Okay, if you are touching the same piece in different variation, then the conflicts will be coming through. Okay? If different methods, Git is intelligent, it will just combine without even raising a concern for you. Okay, please be aware of that. Fine, let's move forward. So conflict resolution and everything we discussed. Next, okay, next step is from integration branch, you should create feature branch. Nothing but parallel development happens because of this only. Dekho, your feature branch is specific to you, means anything that you do here does not impact the rest of the project, rest of the people. So it is safe. Even if you put compilation errors here, generally it is not recommended. You should not do that. People expect ki bhai, make sure at least compilation is all good. Jar clean package command is running properly. People will say ki always ensure that. But even if you have not developed the full feature, you can still keep putting the code here. Okay, we will get into those details later. But feature branch is having its own significance. First, we will create it, then we will discuss those benefits of feature branches. First, parallel development we already realized. Second, developer uses it independently without breaking the remaining system, right? No matter what you do here, it is specific to you. It does not impact anybody else. So you get your space to do experiments in the project. But from integration, we need to create a feature branch. And your development should happen on feature branch only. Let's do that. So same process is there. Create branch, same option. Our next approach is from integration branch, create a feature branch. What are the options? Just simply go to the branches section. Click on create branch. Whether you are using GitHub, similar kind of actions are there in GitHub also. Just maybe some UI might be different, but basically similar options are available. And what are you going to do? Branch type, okay, is feature branch. From which branch you want to create? From integration branch. Okay, what does this mean, from which branch? It's nothing but like this. It's nothing but like this. Okay, from branch 3, create a copy. Just imagine. Okay, guys, look at this here. Look at this here. Currently, first.app is here. Whatever code is available in first.app, you want to create a copy of that. Okay, this becomes branch 1 now. Branch 1. Okay, now let's say you want to create another copy. You have two options. Either you can choose this or you can choose this. But just imagine if you go into this and you create a new file, right? You create a new file, new text file, hello text or readme text, whatever. What will happen? In this copy, you made some new change which is not available here. So that is where from is important. From which branch you want to create a copy. If you want to create a new branch now and you choose this first branch, So you will not get hello.text, right? Hello.txt which we created. But if you copy it from this place, then hello.txt is going to be there for you. That means from branch is very important. Okay, it's very important because that is where you copy and then you create the next one. So we are going to create a copy from integration branch. So be careful. Okay, from integration branch, let's say we create F1, a new feature branch F1. Okay, fine. And then create it. So work number 3 is also done. You can come here to branches. You can come here to all branches section. And yes, all the 3 things are available. Okay. Now some other developer will go click create a F2 branch. And sometimes, yes, they might ask you to create your own feature branches. So master and integration branch will be done one time, long time ago. And for every sprint, you are starting a new feature. You are expected to then go to this bid bucket and create your own feature branches. Okay. So you just go to manually, you have to do this, go click branches from integration, cut F1 branch. That's it. Okay, fine. That is what we have done here. What is the significance of feature branch? For every feature you are developing, you should create a new feature branch. Okay, next, even if you make any mistakes in feature branch, it does not impact other developer or the project. It impacts only your feature. Okay, parallel development possible. Okay, fine. These are the advantages of feature branch. And now you need to understand in AWS, okay, in AWS, when you are doing the testing in AWS dev environment, their feature branch changes will be deployed. Okay, AWS dev environment. So when developers are doing the testing, they will be deploying these kind of feature branch changes here. Okay, yeah, this kind of a feature branch changes will be coming here. Now just imagine, yahan pe bhi there is a complexity. It is one common environment. 5 developer wants to deploy, right? So finally only one code will be running. All the code is copy. Means you can imagine here also the service is running on 8080. Here also it is running on 8080. It's same copy, right? So everyone is running same copy 8080. So you cannot deploy it 5 times. It will not work for other people. So you need to then discuss with them and say, hey, today for 2 hours, I will be using AWS dev environment for doing my testing. All the other developers request you to not use the environment for 2 hours. Once my work is done, I will inform you. And then by coordination, small team is there, 5-6 members working every day morning, stand up, they will discuss who is going to deploy, why it is required, and people will coordinate and use this environment. Okay, please be aware of that. But whenever you want to do the testing, you will decide, finalize, deploy it, test it, and then you will be sure. Once your testing is completed, you will put your code in integration branch, and then it will go to the testers, then they will do the testing. So IT works as per certain process. Okay, fine. Now we need to understand the next topic here. Whatever we coded so far, it's only available in the cloud. Okay, Git repository running in Bitbucket. It's all there in cloud. Nothing is there in our local machine. Where do we do the coding? Array, we do the coding in our IDE. So now, how does this code basically relate to this Git repository which is in cloud? That is the next problem that we need to solve. Okay. So what is our current situation? What is our current situation? All the branches that all the Git repo branches that we created is in Bitbucket cloud. Okay. In order to code for feature, we do coding in local machine IDE. So how does the cloud code, okay, link to your local machine changes? This is the now next part we need to understand. Okay. Okay, simple, eh? But yes, some focus is required, guys. So please focus. Today you need to do all these things. Today we will be setting up our PayPal repository. So you need to complete all these things today. Then tomorrow we can start coding on our PayPal provider service. Okay. Right from tomorrow, functional development is going to start. So today you have to finish this PayPal provider setup. Okay, fine. Now, how this thing is going to happen? Let's take a minute to understand the problem once more. We have everything in our cloud, but we do coding in our local machine. So how these two things will relate with each other? It has to be easy process, simple process. So yes, there is a process for that also. Okay, what is that? We utilize some basic concept of networking here. Maybe in your college time itself, some of you guys might have done it. Let's say Google Drive, you want to sync it into your local, or something which is there in cloud, you sync it in your local. Okay, one of the mechanism is what? You, using the concepts of networking, you can create local sync folder. Okay, so in networking, some of you in your college might have done it, some might not, doesn't matter. But just imagine, even if Google Drive or OneDrive, which is available in cloud somewhere, all your files, PDFs, songs, MP3s, movies, they are all there in cloud. But you can create a sync folder in your local so that whatever changes are available here can be synced in your local machine. Okay, so let's say here there is one file, a.java. When you create a local sync folder, a.java is going to come here. Now, imagine the second step. Here you add a b.java. Because this folder in your local machine is in sync with this place, cloud, you can take this b.java and move it back here also. There are some steps for doing that. But basic concept is, in your local machine, you need to create a sync folder which points to this one. It's a networking concept. So whatever your branches will be available in your cloud, okay, you will create a sync folder in your local machine. That is our next step. So we need that. We cannot code directly in Bitbucket. They have given some option. You can make some modifications there also. But generally, for coding, we don't do that. We always code in local machine itself. How do you code in local machine? There is a step-by-step process. What is the process for that? Step number one, create a sync folder in local machine, okay, which links with your Git branch. Okay. Technical, what is the technical term for this? It is called as Git clone. Sometimes also called as Git checkout operation. Using this, we can create a sync. I would suggest in the beginning days, use the clone operation itself. Don't try with this. I've seen juniors making mistakes, not doing checkouting properly, and really creating a mess of themselves. So go ahead with clone. It's an easy, clean way of getting organized. So how do you create a sync folder? We said we are working with Git repository. So we need to install Git software in your local machine. Okay, I will give you steps for that. Don't worry. Once we are doing it, one by one, we will get to the steps of what needs to be done. But first, conceptually, I am explaining you. There will be Git software, and you will use a Git clone. And this Git clone is basically going to do this activity. From your Git branch, let's say feature branch, you will clone it in your local machine. So this local sync folder will be created. That is just step number 1. Okay. Now guys, step number 2, create Spring Boot project for PayPal provider service. Nothing but it should be a Maven project, right? And having the right pom.xml, some common dependencies, maybe profiling feature. Okay, nothing but the base project. This is called as a base project. Maybe standard packaging. So just imagine 5 people are going to do parallel development. 5 people will not be creating project from scratch, right? Why is 5 new pom.xml required? No, one person will take that responsibility. Generally, your senior is going to take that responsibility. Okay, I will create the base project. Then all the other developers continue on top of that. Guys, you have to understand, there are some people for 10 years, they have worked in IT industry and they never created a first microservice from scratch also, 10 years in the IT. So they are into projects where they have to work on existing microservice, never created even the first project from start, right? And let's say, even though in your company or in your project, you're starting that first microservice, still your senior might create it for you. It is already available. Okay. So this is how it will happen, because it is a one-time activity. One project is there finally, right? So one-time package structure will be finalized. Profiling concept is going to be enabled. Okay. And next, whatever base dependencies required in the pom.xml. So all these are one-time activities. So every developer do not do it. One person is going to do, generally your senior, your team lead. What they will say is, your team lead will say in the morning, okay, today we need to start with a new microservice, PayPal provider. I will do the base project setup and I will make the code available in integration branch. And once it is done, I will let you know. You simply cut your feature branches and start doing your feature work. This will be the communication for you during the morning stand-up. Okay, so tech lead will say, okay, fine, today we need to start a new microservice development. So I am going to create the base project, which will have the packaging, profiling, everything. And then I will say, I will make it available in your integration branch. And then you can cut your feature branches and start with your development. So that is what one person will do, that activity for the base project. So once it is available, new features, you cut a feature branch and start writing new code, maybe controller, service, repository, and all the other things. This is what is the process of working in the industry. Not every developer is going to build the first time project. It's one-man job. So what I have done is, I have already created that first kind of project and is available here as a getting started project. Okay. What is there in the getting started project? Simple pom.xml dependency. I went to start.spring.io, downloaded a new code from there, chose some Spring version, added some profiling changes, okay, added some default packaging for this. So I made the first getting started code from start.spring.io. This zip file I am going to share with you guys. Okay, and now this you have to further do the coding into. One person is going to do. So I have already done that work, and it is not having any Java code. That code we need to write every single day as we are going to work forward. What is available in this zip today itself, we will walk through that. Basic changes are there, which we have already discussed in week 1. Maven dependency, profiling related changes, and packaging related changes. That's it. So whatever we have discussed in week 1, basically those are the changes available. And yes, having dev tool dependency also. Dev tool dependency, some I added Google JSON dependency also. So basic dependencies which everybody needs is already available in the base project. Okay. So one person will do that. I have already done that. And I will share this zip for you to get started. If you want to create from scratch, week 1, week 2 process, just look start.spring.io, download it one by one, make the modifications. That's it. Okay, fine. So what will be our next activity? We need to create a local sync folder. Okay. Next, this one-time project is already available. So we already have this kind of a project. I will upload this in Google Drive today. We already have this project .zip. Okay. We need to extract this. Okay. Or let's put it as step number 3. Extract above zip and put the code in local sync folder. What we want, okay, whatever coding we do in our local machine, that goes into cloud location, right? So whatever code that we are going to have with us, okay, we will be putting that code in local sync folder. Okay. Step number 4 is import this code into IDE using same existing Maven project option. Existing Maven project option. Import into IDE, and then in your IDE you can run all your commands the way we did in week 1 and week 2. Build package, run, make code changes, do the testing, call from Postman. All that work is going to happen here. Execute and test the code which is running in IDE. Okay. So please understand how the code comes into your IDE. It's not just some random code. It is the code which is available in the sync folder. And this sync folder is talking to a Bitbucket location. How it talks to a Bitbucket location? Using certain clone kind of operation. Okay, once we see it technically, everything will become clear. It is not hard, it is not complex. Only theoretically, when we are discussing the steps, it might look like how to do all these things, but in reality, it is few button clicks here and there. In the next 10-15 minutes, you will be comfortable with all these terms, how to do it. Everything will become very clear. But what is our next step? Currently, everything is there in the cloud location, but we need to start coding on this. So how exactly to do that? First, create a local sync folder. Second, one-time project is going to be maintained by your tech lead or somebody. So that guy is going to do the setup. Next, this is how that setup is going to happen. And then remaining process will come after that. Okay. So one by one, let's do this. Okay. In order to technically implement these above 5 steps, more knowledge is required, guys. Please focus. In order to technically implement, multiple approaches are there. One approach is command line interface approach. Nothing but you install Git manually and learn all the Git commands like git add, git commit, git push, git clone. You remember all these commands, start using it. Okay, so you need to install a Git software. You will get some terminal, and then in that terminal, you can run all these commands and you can work with Git repositories. Why all these commands required? We will understand that. Another simpler approach, which almost for all my projects, right from the beginning of career, I'm following this GUI based approach, where I don't run based upon these commands. I use a graphical user interface, which is easy to use, button clicks here and there. Software called as source tree. Okay. Source tree is again given by Atlassian company itself. And using source tree, Windows and Mac users can be working. Ubuntu developers, if for development you're using a Ubuntu machine, I've seen in companies some developers use Ubuntu also for development practices, but Ubuntu ke liye this software is not available. So source tree is the software which can be used for graphical user interface. So if you have Windows or Mac, I would also suggest you to use source tree, and my demonstrations will be with regards to this only. Okay, and it is very easy, some button clicks here and there. Source tree will take care of all the complexity, and it works nicely with your Bitbucket. It's integrated almost together, so you can directly check that also. Okay, and in order to do all these operations, just think about it. Code is available in cloud. You are working in your local machine, so some to and fro will be required, right? Think about it. From top, code should come here, right? And from here, code should go there. Okay, so from cloud, code should come in your local machine. You will do some code changes, testing, and from local machine it should go to cloud. That's what is required. For doing these things, all those git commands are there. Okay, for doing these things itself, all those git commands are there. One by one we will understand, but for now just be aware: git add, and then git commit, git push, all those commands come here itself. Git push, git commit, okay, git pull is there, fetch is there, okay, git clone is there. All these kind of commands we need to just do this kind of activity between your local machine and the cloud. So these are the commands, and since you are working with git, automatically git commands are coming in. Now you can manually run this using a command line interface option, or you can do that with a graphical user interface. I would suggest you to do this. Okay, how to do it? Let's look at it. Okay, approach is very simple. Step number one, we said create a local machine sync folder, which basically talks to your Git branch. Now just imagine, as a developer, feature branch, we are supposed to work upon feature branch. So we will create a local sync folder which will link to this feature branch. So that is our aim. Okay, create local sync folder which links to feature branch. That is our aim. Okay, how to do that? Let's look at it here. So if you go to this feature branch in browser, let's say multiple branches are there. I go to feature branch F1. Okay, let's see, this kind of option is by default available in your Bitbucket. Check out in source tree. Observe, direct integration is available with source tree kind of app. Okay, so step number one for you will be download source tree. Okay, Windows download. So you can just go to something like this. Mac and Windows users can have it. Okay, this is for directly download. Option is if you want to go ahead. So this is download for Windows. Just click on this, software will come exe. It will look something like this. And now this tools is further explaining you also about the features available by source tree, but it is nice graphical screen which will help you to track your project changes and everything. Okay, so guys, your first step will be download source tree app from this place. Download and install. Okay, one important thing, while you are installing, two additional things needs to happen. Okay, one thing, okay, install git software. Nothing but during installation of source tree, it will give you a checkbox. Okay, do you want to install git also? So yes, do that install git option. Okay, click checkbox. You don't have to externally download git, but internally it will, like along with the software, checkbox to install git. Enable checkbox. So this is one thing you have to do. Second, when you are doing the setup, you need to add your Bitbucket account. So it is going to ask you, okay, this source tree, during installation steps itself, it will say this source tree you want to connect to which cloud provider, and there you have to choose, okay, Bitbucket, and then whenever you create your Bitbucket account, some username will be there, and for passwords internally it will be integrated When you say key, okay, I want to connect to this Bitbucket account, it will launch a browser tab where you will just sign in with your password, and then your source tree is going to be linked to that account. So it's basic software installation steps itself. If you're struggling with it, go to YouTube, ask ChatGPT, and get the work done. But two things you need to be careful when you're installing and setting up this source tree app. One, choose the Git. Second, link it with your Bitbucket account, with your username and stuff like that. Okay, fine. Once these two things are done, it will look something like this. I'm launching source tree. This is the app symbol, and let's just open it. Okay, so local, it has some options, local and remote. Local means whatever local sync folders we are creating, it will do some maintenance for that also. Remote means in the cloud location, right? In the Bitbucket remote location. Now, if you click on remote, just see, I have already added my Bitbucket account here. So all of these are repositories from my remote location. Local means in my local machine. Remote means there. You can add even your GitHub account here, and that also you can work. Okay, and there are some other GUI tools also. So there are many options available. If you feel comfortable with some other tool, you can use that also, not a problem. If you say, I want to use a GitHub for your tracking, you're very comfortable with GitHub, you don't want to go ahead with Bitbucket, okay, that is also fine. Make sure you're choosing private repository related option. Don't publicly host the code which you guys are going to develop throughout these 2 months. Okay, so just you can do that. It's your choice how to manage the code. Keep it private. Bitbucket is okay, GitHub is okay, but similar kind of actions you need to do on any of the setup. Okay, fine. So this is how it opens, that is fine. But our main thing here is we need to create a local sync folder. So first step, you will have the source tree. While source tree is coming, you need to do these operations. Okay, fine. Next step is we need to create local sync folder. Okay. How do we do that? Just go to your browser, and this option was there, right? Go to your branch, whichever feature branch you want to get it into your local syncing. Click on this checkout in source tree operation. Okay. Click on this checkout in source tree. It is going to launch this kind of a pop-up, and it will give you option whether you want to choose a checkout or you want to go ahead with a clone. So in the beginning days, I would say ki go ahead always with cloning. Okay, checkout is for a different purpose, you can use that, but for that, first get comfortable with cloning. That is an easy, simple way to get started without any confusion. Okay, so click on checkout in source tree, a pop-up comes here, clone new operation will be there. There you have to choose which branch you want to do. By default, you clicked on F1, so that branch is available here. But if you want to sync integration branch, that can also be done. So any branch can be synced into your local machine. Please be aware of that. Okay, so you have to be really very careful what you're doing, which branch you're doing what, because it will lead to problems if you're not careful. Just remember one statement: developer always develops new feature in feature branch. That's it. When to use bug branch, hotfix branch, we will discuss later. For now, just remember this statement: every new feature that you're doing, you will do the coding only in feature branch. Don't violate this line. Don't create sync folder of integration and start doing coding on that, or main start doing coding. No, don't do that. Stick with the process of the project, don't violate it. Every new feature you should do on feature branch only. As a beginner, fresher, entry level person, 0 to 2 years of experience, don't compromise on these basic standard steps. You will create a mess in the project. I've seen juniors do that. That is where I am precisely telling what you guys are supposed to do. It will help you to be very much disciplined and clean. It will save you a lot of time and efforts. Okay. So what is the next process? Developer should always create a new feature branch. Okay, work on feature branch. So how do you create a sync folder for feature branch? Okay, you do that checkout in source tree, and then you choose the clone operation. Clone operation. Okay, fine. And fine. Choose the right branch. Clone and then choose feature branch. You're doing a feature branch syncing, right? Okay. Next, in which machine in your local machine where the sync folder should be created? Where do you want to clone this, create a sync folder? Okay, so we are going to do this in certain organized folder path. So please note that. Okay, that is your step number 3. Keep your local file system organized. This is very important point. Okay, because in your project, multiple microservices will be there. Multiple microservices. And each microservice, you will work on multiple features. Means multiple branches will be there. So imagine it is going to be complex. Your code will have many microservices and many branches. So which branches you are working, so you need to keep your local system organized. How do you do that? This is my recommendation to you. Wherever is the top place, that's what in the week number 1 itself we said, wherever is the top place where we will be creating, okay, our entire project related, there we need to do this. We chose a base location where we are going to work. This is called as a local workspace. Okay, in that, when you're launching an IDE will need some files for preparing. So we create a /IDE. So IDE comes from this place. Next, explore folder you create for all your experiments. So far we added everything under explore, but now we are working with proper project repositories and code. So we will create a new folder called as repo folder. Okay. So all the code which is organized into your cloud and you want to do coding of that, keep it under repo folder. That is the base location, repo folder. There are a number of ways of doing it, but I am giving you one organized way. If you like this one, do it. If you find something more better, do it, but don't add confusion. I would suggest you go ahead with the simple way of being organized. I learned it long time ago and I'm doing it like that itself. It keeps it organized and clean. Okay, next, what we will do under this repo folder, we will be having subfolders. It's created something like this. What? First will be git repository name. And then under this slash, we will be having branch name. Like this, 2 more folder structures we will be creating. Okay, so our structure is going to be something like this. So it's again way of being organized. Let's say tomorrow you want to work upon second feature. You will say branch name 2. You want to work upon next microservice. So here you will call as payment processing service, and then let's say F1. You want to work upon another feature, F2, another feature, F3. You want to work upon our current microservice. So you will keep it like this. Under repo, one folder which talks about your microservice name, PayPal provider service /F1. If let's say in PayPal provider service, tomorrow next sprint you want to do next feature, you will choose F2. You want to do another feature, you will choose F3. and so on and so forth. Nothing but local machine, keep it organized. Every repository which is a Git repo which we are going to sync, put it under /repo folder, then name of your Git repository, then the branch, and this will contain all the code. After this F1, all code will be available. So this is how keep it organized locally. So what are we going to do here? This will be our PayPal provider service. This will become our main project location. So here we need to say, where do you want to install this PayPal provider service feature branch? Okay, I want to do it under this location, repo PayPal provider service. And then under that, I want to say PayPal provider, let's say F1. So to inform that it is a feature 1. So this folder is the feature. This talks about the repo. In future, I have another feature. I will create a separate folder for that. It keeps it nicely organized. And then you do this clone operation. So I'm taking this URL location and let's do a clone. Okay, completed successfully. This kind of a location I have utilized. You can take a reference and try to build at your side. But let's go here. Under repo now, PayPal provider service. Under that, one more folder is there of this name. And here just see some empty folder. These are some default files of Git, which it needs for doing maintenance, tracking, updates, and all of those things. But there is no Java code here. There is nothing. So guys, we are done with the step number 1. What is the step number 1? We need to create a local sync folder, and that included this kind of operation. How did we do this operation? Is via this approach, source tree, and then we simply clicked check out from source tree. Okay, check out from source tree, then we choose clone, and from there we choose the feature branch, and then we kept our local machine organized. And step number 4 we did clone operation. This created it in our local. Okay, clone this. Since there is nothing in our cloud repo, so no code came. Okay, and another observation, just see here, you can see that also. So currently there is nothing, so it is all blank and just getting started. There is nothing here. Okay, there are further operations here. If you click on history, basically nothing here. It's only this file was created when we created the branch from the cloud itself. So default they have provided this is available. Fine, it's nothing, no code here. Now second step that we need to do, we said already one project, we need to create the base project. Like we said, your tech lead will say, I will create the base project and I will make it available in integration branch. Okay, so what I will do, I already have created a base project from start.spring.io, which is having these kind of configurations already. So what I will do at my machine, let me show you that. Okay, so let's say I have this base project. So I will be creating a new folder here. Let's open this new folder. Okay, this getting started zip, we will upload it in Google Drive today. Extract. So today you are supposed to do this. Okay, extract it. Extract here. Okay, it is a Spring Boot application with Maven. Okay, get started. This is what the full application code is. Spring Boot with Maven. copy this entire code. Don't get this code into your IDE. No, you need to copy this. What is our next step, guys? Extract this code, extract the above zip, put the code in the local sync folder, and from that local sync folder, import into IDE. This is how you are supposed to work. Don't directly extract this zip and import into IDE. No, you should extract it, put it in under the sync folder, and then import that. So this is very important step. Okay. So step number 1, we have extracted it. Now we are copying this code to our local sync folder. That is where we organized. Under repo, we have sync folders. Here you will be putting it, and replace the git ignore file with whatever comes from the zip. Replace the file in the destination. Okay, done. Okay, so this will be your next step. Unzip that base project location. Next, you have to copy that and put it here. Next approach is import this code in IDE. This means from sync folder location. Be very careful here. Don't copy the unzipped wala. Copy the sync folder location. So it's under repo. I will be further taking this location, and that project is the same one. Okay. Same one means the steps are the similar steps of week 1. Right click. Okay. Okay, wait. Right click. Import existing Maven project. Give the location. Choose this one. Give an enter. Okay. Go to advanced. Okay, whatever is the name of your folder, I would suggest you to choose the same name template here, and then click on finish. Okay. Observe here. IDs are very intelligent. It already realized so many things. Let's look at it from diagram. As soon as you imported this, okay, so many things IDE was able to recognize. Okay, what is that? First, it's a Maven project. It is a Java project. Next, it is linked with a repository. This yellow color symbol is talking about it is backed with a repository, nothing but a Git repo in this case. M means it is a Maven project. J means it is Java. This means yeah, there are some compilation, some warnings, this, that kind of thing, which can be resolved, but some kind of, it's just highlighting, okay, some kind of warnings might be there in the project. That is where this is coming. Okay, next, another thing. It is a Spring Boot project. It is a Spring Boot project, which is having DevTool dependency, and this folder basically talks to this branch in the cloud, feature/f1. So all this clarity already IDE took from your project, and it is reflecting it somehow for you. So all this, it is a Spring Boot project, which is having DevTool dependency, and then it is talking to this feature branch. Okay. So IDs are very intelligent in these manners. Okay, fine. Next, moving on. So we can see it here. What code is available in this place? First note, src main Java. It's just having one simple sample addition controller I have written. There is no other business logic. I wrote this only for basic testing. Once we start writing the code, we will delete this addition controller. Maybe tomorrow itself we will delete it. For today, it's only created basic. Next, there is the starting application main method having this starting application @ Spring Boot application annotation. This is the beginning where your Spring Boot application will start. So basically, we don't have any Java code written. So we need to start doing the coding on top of this. Next, under SRC main resources, profiling setup is already done. Okay. And if you open this application.property, the port of this microservice will be 8083. Okay. And the name of this service is PayPal provider service. This value comes from prom.xml during profiling in week 1. We already discussed this. So yes, profiling environment specific files, profile specific files are already there. In this also, basically there is no code. Sample key value is available. So coding is not done. It is only a base project. Simply you can get it from start.spring.io, make these basic setups, and that is enough. Okay. And the third thing is, in pom.xml, the required configurations are added. Okay. In pom.xml, some required things are added, like profiling related changes are there. Okay. Next, what is this log location? I would just suggest one thing to you. If you are not using a Windows machine, okay, maybe this log location sometimes might cause some issue. So change it to your machine related location. So I just created one location which is under the same project where we created repo. Okay, observe, under that project itself, wherever we created repo, there parallelly I'm just having one logs folder. Okay, many times it might not cause any issue for you. However, in your machine, wherever your entire folder path is there, there you choose the log location. If you are using a Mac or a Ubuntu, accordingly fix it. Local related logs. Why do we need this logs folder? Right now, we are not generating anything here. But when we discuss SLF4J with logging in the future sessions, when we discuss it, then we need to care about this folder. For now, it's not implemented, but still, since it's there in configuration, better to have your log path configured properly. So this is what we would try to take some conclusions here. Okay, what is that? In the current Spring project, which is nothing but the getting started project, what do we see? Okay, basically it's not having any code, only base setup available. What does that base setup mean? Observe here. Under SRC main resources, base package is finalized. Okay, and since we are doing it with Hulk Hire Tech, so how the packaging will be, it's a group ID. Okay, so that basically is hulkhiretech.com to reverse of that, com.hulkhiretech. Next, we are working as part of the payment system. So this further identifies that it is part of the payment system. So the base package becomes this one. Okay, so base package is this one. Base package is finalized, means all the Java classes that we write in this project should be at this package or child packages dot controller. So nothing can go outside this package. That you have to make sure. Okay, that is the meaning of base package. All Java classes should be under this package or its sub packages. That we need to be aware of. Okay, fine. Next, what more learnings we have? Basically, some add controller is there only for initial setup. Addition controller only for initial setup. We will delete it tomorrow itself. Okay, for initial setup, delete tomorrow when we start actual functional coding. Okay, next, what more? Profiling setup is available. It has profile concept. We have both Spring profile plus Maven profile. We discussed this earlier. Both setup is available. Okay, fine. Next, what is the another point to observe? The port which it is using, 8083. So PayPal provider service is going to activate on 8083 port. Fine. Next, pom.xml. is having Maven profiles. We already noted that. Here, important thing is logging path. You need to adjust to your machine. Logging path, setup logs path of your machine. Generally, wherever this base location is there, under that you can put it. Okay. So you create a folder and under that you can put this one. Okay, logs and then name of the microservice. Under that this will go. If you have a processing service, so there will be a separate folder here called as processing service. Under that corresponding logs will go. Just keep it like this. These rest of the configurations of log will be in AWS machine. When we run the code, where should the logs be? And generally we will be running it in some Ubuntu machine, Linux machine. So there varlib tomcat logs, okay, there we can put it. But anyways, in your projects you can discuss which is the cloud location where the logs will be available. But for many projects we put it under varlib tomcat logs in under this location. Okay, so you can take it like that. Fine. After that, Spring Boot 3.4 we are using. 3.4.x. Okay, it is having web dependency. So in the first project also which we created in the week 1, we created a web dependency. Means you can write REST APIs using this. That basic dependency is available. And because of the starter concept, Tomcat, embedded Tomcat, all those Spring Boot features of auto configurations and all, they will be coming to you. Logging will be activated as well. Plus, there is starter test. So because of this dependency, JUnit and mocking, those things will come to you. When we discuss about JUnit and stuff like that, then we will speak about this configuration. So I'm just walking through the main configuration. It is a Spring Web project, so we can understand this. So logging part, update log part to your machine. Second, we have main dependencies, which is nothing but Spring Web. Okay. Next, test dependency, which is required for our JUnit plus mocking. And here we can use for any REST API development, and it will give embedded Tomcat, stuff like that, Tomcat and etc. stuff. Next, DevTool dependency is available. We know that whenever we save changes, it should start by itself. So we have this. Lombok dependency is added, so we can remove boilerplate code, unnecessary code, redundant code. We don't want to spend time on that. So Lombok setup is already available. In week 1, week 2, we have done this. In week 1 itself, we created all these configurations. So please make sure you do ID level setup for Lombok so you can work with it. Next, Google JSON library. When discussing auto configurations last week, then we use this. So I've just made it available. How and when? So that is what this project is, a one-time thing, right? So the commonly used dependencies, one person will already put it in base package. So all the team members don't have to keep adding these dependencies. Okay, so rest of the team members then focuses on features and functionality. So this one person takes care about these kind of things, finalizing the base package, applying this profiling related, choosing which port it is going to be, maybe some log locations if they want, and then going ahead with some these kind of dependencies. Okay, fine. This is how the changes are going to be available. Fine. Next stuff. Next stuff. Once you have put these changes, there is model mapper dependency. Why model mapper is required, we will still speak about this later. Okay, why model mapper? Right now not required, but in the future coming sessions, we will need model mapper library for converting one object to another. Okay, so why this is required? Convert one object to another. So there we will discuss about model mapper, but basically these are the changes. Okay. Another thing, when we build clean package, okay, what jar file name should be, that name you can specify in this final name tag. Okay, so whenever we build it, PayPal provider service, we want this to be the jar file name. So you can directly specify it here using final name tag. Let's try to do that. Here we have right click, run as, Maven build. Okay. PayPal provider F1. We will say clean package. I'm just naming it like this. And let's run that command, clean package, and then we run it. Okay. Just observe Java 17, it's using week 1 related setup. Let's see. Jar file, observe the name PayPal-provider-service.jar. This name is coming because we have chosen that kind of a name here. Okay. So that is another point to be highlighted when you are doing the building. So this is what is being utilized. Okay. This final jar on build will be this one. Okay. Chalo. Next. And these remaining things are there so that you can run the Maven related commands when you do clean, Spring Boot -run and stuff like that, Maven packaging. So these kind of plugins provide some default support to execute Maven and Maven with Spring Boot. Those kind of things can happen by using this commands plugin tag. Okay, that's it. So basically, all the dependencies we are already familiar, profiles we are aware. These are just some configurations. Okay, group ID and all that. We have seen it in the week 1. Some properties are set up. Depending upon what we want to use, we can customize this. But otherwise, main things, profile and in dependencies, whatever dependencies, Spring Boot version you need to be aware of, 3.4 we are using, and all the rest of the things we have already gone through. Okay. So this is what is your base project setup, and we have it here, and just we have noted it here also, all the details. Okay. Once we have it, let's do this next thing. What is the next thing? Create a Spring Boot project. Okay, it has all these dependencies we have walked through. Extract it and make it available in sync folder. We did this. Next, import this code into IDE. We have already done that. From the sync location, we already did it. Execute it and test it once from your IDE. We have done a package. Let's start this also. Okay, so what we will do, right click, run as, build, let's say clean spring-boot:run, and whatever we are running, I just want to give some name to this. Okay, just to remember what kind of command we are running with this, and run it. Okay, so this is going to start the Spring Boot application. Already in week 1, week 2, we have done all this n number of times. So now you're ready to catch up quickly, and we can just set up another microservice project just like that. Okay, fine. What is our basic checklist? Everything should be saved. There should not be any compilation problems. And when you reach to console, last line here should come like, okay, Tomcat started on 8083, and you should have this red color option. If this things is okay, then you can go to Postman for doing the testing, right? If there is any problem, first you fix this itself. We already repeated it many times. I still keep doing it. So you start developing that thought process of how you should think when you're doing development and testing. Okay, fine. Next, let's call this addition controller. Okay. So if you want to test it from Postman, right now it's only basic test purpose itself. What will be our URL? Okay. So we already know in the week 1, week 2, our URL is going to be http:// it's running in local machine to localhost : port is 8083. Okay. Next, we need to give the path. So here there is nothing at the controller level. Directly your path is there. So we can take this. So /add should be there. We will take a separate session on REST API designing. Right now we are not focused on that one. Okay. So REST API, what is REST API? What is REST API standards? And with regards to PayPal, when we are developing the REST APIs, everything will be discussed. Okay, today we are doing the base setup so that tomorrow we can write further functionality on top of this. Okay, so I have not even explained you what are these annotations and all, what is post mapping, what is all this. There will be a separate session to do all that discussion when we discuss REST standards. Right now, just imagine from ChatGPT, you got some code like this. Just imagine like that. Fine. But there is something, if you want to pass a request parameter, your approach generally goes like this one, question mark, parameter name, question mark value. And if you want to pass more than one, that is where in basic web knowledge, if you have, you will know what is URL, how to have the separator here, and then how to pass key colon, key equal to value. You have one more variable, but don't worry, I will explain these things in REST related concepts, not today. But at least for today's testing, we need to prepare, let's say num2 equal to, let's say 5. This becomes our testing URL. And it is post in nature. So in week 1, we realized get, post, those kind of things will be there. It is post in nature. So we need to test this kind of a REST API, and we can do that from our Postman. So let's quickly do the setup in there. Okay. So we will be launching our Postman. Today you have to do all of these setups. Okay. So okay. So let's create something fresh. We will do a add request, new request. Go here. Bana de bhai. Okay. Let's create once more new request. Give it some time. Okay, fine. It created the request. Next, we can say PayPal provider, and we are doing /add method here. It is a post method, and this is our URL. If you are struggling to prepare this URL, that is where AI and ChatGPT will come to your help. Okay. If you don't know or making mistakes with this syntax, okay, no problem. You can write in param section. Queries will be there, name value, name value. If you are doing only like this, for example, let's say you do this num3, right? Num3, and you put a value 10. So it prepares this URL automatically. So Postman gives you a lot of flexibility, right? So you don't, even if you make mistakes here, no problem. You can just fill it up here. It comes here automatically. But we don't want num3. We want only num1, num2. So this becomes a URL. And then here we are. We are basically just SLF4J logger is already enabled. We are not using, with this example, at least SLF4J @SLF4J. Lombok is not utilized, but going forward, we will use that itself. Okay, fine. Let's just check it out. So we call this, it's working, right? 1 + 5, the answer is coming 6. Behind the screen logs rolled. Entry came with 2 numbers. These were the values, 1 and 5. It was summed up and it is working. Nothing but the basic application is working. It's not in a broken state. Okay. So, and we understand it also. So we are done with the next step. Execute and test it in local. Okay. So guys, are we clear with this? Give a good thumbs up, team. Are we clear with this? Just week 1 related knowledge is required. Week 1 profile, what is profile, what is packaging, how did we choose all that packaging, what is all these dependencies, Lombok and all. So that knowledge is required. So don't miss any topic. Everything is in a flow. Okay? Don't jump it ki ye karunga, wo karunga. Because things which are already discussed, applications will happen in the future sessions of that, right? So practice it. If you forgot it, means, oh, you have to again practice it. Very good. Let's continue further. So we are done till this point. Locally, it is working. Now let's discuss the next point. What will be the next steps for the developer? Locally to chal gaya. But now just imagine, I'll give you a very nice case. This happens during our development time. With me also it happened once, and I've seen happening to other people. Okay. There was one guy, while going home, it was raining very heavily, right? And office laptops will be there, and with proper waterproof bags, it will be there. Like, in what happened? Somehow, mistakenly, while going home, this laptop ka bag was open, and that guy did not realize it. Bike पे he is going home, full heavy rain घुस गया उसके bag में. One incident. Another incident I will tell you. This was another craziest thing. We went for a team dinner. So someday after offices, entire team went for a dinner. And वहां पे जाके we were having chit chat and everything. One of the team member, उसका bag, there was an aquarium. So in some restaurants near High Tech City and all those areas, big aquariums were there. एक बंदे का bag having the laptop went inside that aquarium and did not even notice. After 5 minutes, he's like, "Arey, bag gaya," and everybody, and like full laptop dripped in water came out. And generally, what happens, right? When you open these kind of things affected by rain, your hard disk will crash, your motherboard may kuch problems, and IT support team will say, "We cannot give you a guarantee whether data will be retrieved." Right? This is how IT will say, "We will try our best, but there is no guarantee." You go to even proper store, if it is a Mac machine, you go to a Mac store, Apple guys will first tell you, okay, data can be lost. Don't reach out to us if it is a problem. And then they will take it in signing. So there is no guarantee that the data will be maintained. Okay? So practically these things happen in real life. So I am telling you this, keeping the code in your local machine is not an option. I gave you these examples so you understand the seriousness. If you keep this code in your local machine itself and you code for 2 weeks, because you are saying it's my feature branch, it's not affecting anybody, so I am just going to keep coding on this on a daily basis. Just imagine, local sync folder is there, you're coding here on a daily basis. Now just imagine if unfortunately your laptop gets into that situation. What will happen? All the work of 2 weeks will be lost, project will suffer, and then you have to recode everything once again. So please note this point. You are not supposed, this is the next topic, you need to understand it on a serious note. You don't keep your project code in local machine, okay? As soon as possible, you are supposed to sync it to cloud Bitbucket in our case, so that even if some drama happens with your laptop and machine, no problem, at least your work of 2 weeks is not lost. That is where I gave you those examples, because it is really serious. It happened with me once, not because of rain or something, but some motherboard ka hardware issue happened, and then 1 week ka work was lost. In very beginning time, I was having 3 years of experience, something like that, and then I had to recode those things. Okay, so after that I became really serious. Otherwise I was like, it will not happen to me, but it happens, unfortunately. Okay, you never know when it can happen. And then in my career, I saw it happening to other people, and that made me realize how important this statement is. Okay, you don't keep your local code in just machine. You have to make it reach to Bitbucket as soon as possible. If possible, every day you put your code in Bitbucket feature branch. Don't get it into integration, but keep it in feature branch. So if something happens, your laptop is gone, crashed, whatever, okay, you can still recover because code is available there. Your work is not lost. What will generally companies do in such case? They will make a temporary arrangement. They will give you a separate laptop and say, okay, by the time we are fixing this, you can do the setup here and continue, right? Sometimes it depends on what kind of company you're working. They might later give you a bill. Okay, chal bhai, abhi iska payment you are going to do because it's not under warranty and you have done this thing which doesn't cover the warranty. Sometimes that kind of things might also happen. So it completely depends what project and what situation happened for that laptop, right? Okay, but generally these company laptops will be under warranty and people will have insurance for that. Companies will have insurance. So such kind of damage, they can still put it back and it will not impact the employee. Majority of the companies will do it like that, but you have to be safe. You do it 2-3 times and then it is a blunder, right? So please be careful. Be careful. It's very important to manage the company assets properly. Next. So each day you need to put your code in Bitbucket. Okay, what does this mean? Let's understand it with steps here, then we will go further. Okay. Let's say we will fully remove this and understand step by step what have we done and what are we supposed to do. Okay. So we spoke sometime earlier. Feature branch is in cloud Bitbucket. You are in your local machine. You want to do development. Your step number 1 is you have multiple things in your local machine. Let's say this is your local machine. Okay. This developer D1 is working in the local machine. So this is your local machine. In the local machine, you have your ID, whatever choice of ID you have. In the local machine, you are supposed to create that sync location, which is going to be in sync with this cloud place. Okay. Feature branch. Now we already know we can create a separate sync location for integration also. Just git clone operation will do that. Next, how did we create this sync operation? The command for that is git clone. Okay, so git clone, even though we do it from our source tree, but behind the screen operation is git clone. Using this, it comes to the sync. Next, what did we do? We extracted our project file, put the code here, and we took this code into our IDE, and then we started it, and then we have tested it. Using Postman, we continued with our testing, and now everything is looking fine so far. But you can imagine, so whatever we do, whenever you change the code changed here. Please note that, right? IDE mein you are making code changes, but where is all this file? For example, if you click on this addition controller, Alt Enter, okay? If you click on this addition controller, you go to the location of this, okay? What is the location of this? It's under, or we can watch it here itself somewhere, under repo location. This is the microservice repository name. This is the branch name. Nothing but this is a sync folder location. So even though you are making any code changes, let's say you do in IDE, for example, you now start add subtract method. Okay, subtract. Okay, like this. Just see GitHub Copilot. We just said add subtract method. Usne likh liya, right? So what should be the endpoint? What should all be this? So point is, anytime you make modifications into all of this, this is all happening under that sync location only. Okay, so that means from diagram perspective, with ID you make modification, but this modification is happening here only in the sync location. And then you're testing it, fine, but the code is all here in the sync location only. Okay, fine. Once you have all this thing, we said right now, you should not keep your code in the local machine for a long time. Okay, you need to do certain operations by which you take your code into this location. Okay, what are the operations? Basically 3 things you have to do. Okay, so first is git add. 2 commands. Git add. Next, git commit. Okay, third command is git push. Okay, third command is git push. So three things happen. When you do git add and git commit, now internally this is behind the screen story, but if you take this source tree out, it keeps telling, right? There is something called as local, there is something called as remote. So what is this local? Whenever you create a clone in your local machine, it starts maintaining a copy version of that repository in your local machine. So whenever you do this git commit, git add and git commit, first it puts it into the local system itself. It saves it properly in the local system. And when you do git push, then changes from this local syncs folder will go to the corresponding remote folder. So just be aware, but it is a three-step process. Okay, you want to keep, okay, you move your changes from local to cloud. Three steps: git add, git commit, and the third one is git push. Git add and git commit keeps it in your local only, and when you do git push, it takes it to cloud, takes to cloud Bitbucket. So what you're supposed to do, you have to finish these three operations. Okay, I don't know whether you have seen this kind of memes, but kind of some, just in a joking manner, you might have seen memes ki when there is a fire in the building, office space, corporate office, if there is a fire, immediately do git add, git commit, git push, and then you leave the building. So basic is ki bhai ye teen run kar do. So your code is at least safe, and then you run. Just from joke perspective, but whatever. So we need to save the changes into cloud and then save yourself. Anyways, so again, that was from a joke perspective. Basic stuff is ke bhai jaan bacha lo. You can write the code over one weekend once more. If you code it on a daily basis, save it on a daily basis, you're not worried about unexpected drama. Okay, fine. So basically these three steps. You need to take your changes from local to cloud. Three commands: git add, git commit, git push. These two commands work with the local repository. Nothing but git internally. Behind the screen story is there, complete abstraction. If you are interested to dig more, you can dig more. But for a day-to-day developer, you don't much get into those things. Internally, Git is using it for tracking, maintaining code versions and all that drama. So git add you can do, git commit you can do. It saves your changes properly in the local system. When you do git push, the changes goes to cloud. And since we are doing source tree, all these operations we will do with source tree. Okay, we perform this using source tree. The way we did git clone, like this will happen. Okay, how exactly? Just go to the source tree. After cloning, the folder came here. Just click on the file status. Okay. Now, this is the beauty of Git. Okay, source tree is just giving a visual representation and ease of understanding. But this is the beauty of Git. What this Git guy is trying to do is, okay, so now just imagine there is this cloud location where your code is available, right? In cloud Bitbucket, feature branch is available. Okay, and now in your local machine also, a copy of that is available. In your local machine also, a sync folder is available. Okay, now what this Git is doing is, okay, with regards to this copy, if you have made any modification, it is telling it to you, okay, hey, you have made these many modifications in your local, which is not available in your cloud location. Kind of comparison of the two spaces are happening to you. So you can keep checking, okay, what modifications did you do in your local IDE? Okay, so you can have that kind of changes. Basically, to be more technical, first it compares it with the local copy itself, local repository. But let's keep it simple. Any changes that you do in your code, which is not properly committed and pushed, right? It will be shown here. Okay, you have made these modifications. Okay. Now you need to take these things to cloud. 3 steps. First, git add. Here you can see this add kind of symbol is there. You can one by one add this. All these files came from where? Unzipped code. Whatever unzipped code was available, from there it came. Just see, as and when I'm clicking on add here it is moving from unstaged location to stage location. And it is showing a plus added. So this operation itself is git add operation. So from untracking, it starts tracking it. Okay, this guy wants to add these many number of files. You want to take everything, you can click on stage all. It just takes all the things here. Okay. There are a few more things you have to observe. All the newly written code will be like this, plus green. This is all newly written code. Okay, if you remember, git ignore, we replace the existing. So if you do modifications to existing, it will be shown in this edit orange kind of symbol. Means on top of whatever earlier code was there, 4 new lines were added. So please be aware that Git is constant doing a comparison. What modifications are you making with regards to this kind of a copy? So you can review your changes so that accidentally you have not deleted anything, or unnecessary you have not added a method which should not be there. Continuous monitoring of your code is happening here. So even if you make some mistakes, your code is very safe. I will show you that very shortly. So having the power of Git is so amazing. Okay, developers say even if some mistakes happen, no problem, Git can help you recover from that. Let me first commit, push it, then we will discuss about the next part. So this simple operation is git add. Okay, moving from unstaged location to stage location. You can click on stage all or one by one add it, it will come here. Okay, so all these files are now in git add state. Okay, git add state. It makes it ready to go further. Next, git commit. It's like properly it will be saving your changes. For example, now while doing commit, it is showing this kind of option, commit operation. Okay, one action is pending. You need to give a proper message here, okay, what you are committing. And you need to tell reason very clearly, because all the other team members will see this. So don't just put one word there. Try to explain what you are committing. So here we can say initial draft of PayPal provider service, okay, extracted code from getting started zip file. So what is the learning here? Give some proper meaningful description while you are trying to commit. Okay, fine. And after that, just click on this commit button. Okay, not sure, without typing anything, is this button active? Not sure. So please check it out basically, right? So add description and just click on commit. Okay, just observe. The changes are committed, but these changes will be in your local machine itself. Git add, git commit, it keeps it into your local. When you do the git push, then the changes go into the cloud section. Okay, for example, if you are going here, looking at the source, okay, let's do a refresh. Next, main, you can choose, right? There are multiple copies. Which copy code you want to see here? Okay, you want to see the source code, but which copy? By default, main is coming here. Now you can choose, I want to see what code is available in feature. Okay, and try to reflect it properly. Sometimes it takes feature. Currently, nothing is there in feature, no code, because we have not pushed it so far. So git add, git commit keeps the changes in your local itself. Now, in order to take it to cloud, you need to do git push. How do you do that in source tree? Just click on this push button. Okay, and when you click on this push button, you will be like, okay, you want to take the changes to remote feature branch. So with commit, local branch, in your local machine, it will be saved properly. When you do this push, it will go to the remote branch also. Okay, fine. So let's push it. Just click on push. Okay, so pushing the file to our Bitbucket is completed successfully. All the changes are gone there. Now we can confirm. Okay, let's close this. Just see everything is available here. In the history section, you can check all your changes. Okay, on 12:30, these many number of files were committed, and then it is available in the cloud location as well. You can go here, you can come here, and let's try to just do a refresh. Okay, give it some time. Okay, just observe here. So the changes are available here. Whatever is there in our local IDE, all the changes went into that location. Okay, now observe this. SRC, you can check the changes here. SRC main, this is the base package, and let's say in controller we added addition controller. You click on that. Okay, you can look at the source code here. Just see, in the local machine we right now added the subtract method, and while putting it there we have moved it. So yes, it is available there. In GitHub also you are seeing this only, right? Spring Boot related, we saw it in GitHub. There also this kind of code was there. We were able to see what things are available. So there also they are tracking based upon Git repository. Here also in Bitbucket, similar kind of concept is there. You can check the source code, but you do the development in your local machine. Okay. So this is what is the next step. Let's take some bullet points. Okay, use the source tree. Okay, we perform using the source tree. First, you need to do stage all. This is going to add the changes, means kind of staging, keep it ready. After that, you do commit, means save in local machine repo. After that, you do push, means move the changes to cloud location. What you are supposed to do is on a daily basis, keep doing these three things. Please note that feature branch is your branch. Even though your code is not fully tested, no problem, but still keep pushing it, because due to these kind of mishaps, laptop crashing, hard disk problems, it will kill more time for you. Okay, so please make sure you do this. Okay, fine. Now the next point, let's look at some powerful thing which is happening because of what we have done so far. Okay, let's say I realized I don't want to add the subtract method. I'm deleting it. Save. Okay, now the changes which you have done is not available in that Git repository, right? So automatically what happens when you go to the source tree, go to the file status, just observe, it is going to tell you that red color means in the repository this was available, you deleted it. So continuous monitoring is there. Accidentally you make some line changes and you don't know what it is, go to source tree, it is going to protect you. Let's say another situation. Let's say by mistake, this QA property file you deleted, right click, delete. By mistake, accidentally, you don't even know that, by mistake gaye. But you can come back to your source tree. This guy is not going to let go any mistakes. Here it is showing minus. That means, hey, you have deleted this file. Minus means file is deleted. So any changes that you do in the local copy, it is all being tracked. Now you can review it, whether it was needed, whether it was accidental. Now let's say you realize, yes, addition controller is required. I don't want to add this subtract method. Then again, same operations, first git add. So only changes will happen in whatever is there in the add section. That is where git add. If you have unstage, it doesn't participate in going to the cloud location. That is the reason git add is required, because whenever you commit a change, only what is staged, it will go further, not this change. So that is where I took this example, two different scenarios. Two changes I did, but I want only add controller to go to cloud. I don't want this. So you only add that file and then you put some comment there. Okay, removing subtract method, okay, and maybe reasoning and all. You can write 1-2 lines to explain it, and then do a commit, and then do a push. Okay, observe, this history starts developing here. It is telling us at 12:30. Now this is what is version control. For every commit that we do, it creates a new version. Observe this right hand side. It creates a new version. That is where it is a version control system. Every changes, it tracks. Now it is tracking. Okay, this guy Tausif on 12:30 made these many line changes, file changes. Next, it is tracking at 12:37. This guy has modified one file, and as part of that, okay, this guy has removed this much code. Means even a space change that you do, tool is tracking that. And the project needs that kind of tracking. This is very powerful, please notice. And then this is saying there are some uncommitted changes. Means some changes which you have done in your local, but so far you have not saved it, you have not pushed it. Okay, what are the changes? Okay, you can click on that uncommitted and you're realizing, oh, okay, this file I deleted by default. You can have a consolidated view here into the file status. And now you can realize, array, this was by mistake. I did not wanted to do this. Okay, if you don't wanted to do this, you simply right click on this file and say discard file change. Means whatever changes I did, discard that. So if you do a discard file change, what is the file name? Application-QA. Okay, you do discard file change, discard it. Changes are gone. If you come back here, just see the file came back again here. Means revert is going to happen. Let's say by mistake, if you are doing this and you cause some drama in the system accidentally, and you don't know what have you done. It's not working all of a sudden. No problem. You go to the source tree. This guy is tracking, the Git is tracking, and you check it out. Addition controller. Oh, by mistake, I have just deleted this kind of code. It was a mistake. No problem. You can just right click here and say discard file changes. So whatever changes you did, you're basically reverting it. If you go back here, just see the code came back again. So this is a very powerful mechanism for developers, because a lot of times mistakes will happen, accidentally think you will change some code and then you will forget whether this code you have newly written right now or whether it was there in the previous changes itself. Git is monitoring everything. This is so powerful that without having this kind of constant monitoring, no developer works on no project. This is ultimate peace of mind. कि कुछ भी हो जाए, no problem. It is always safe, right? Guys, are we getting it? Right? This is super stuff. So every developer can make mistake, still no problem. You can come back and check what did you modify. And source tree provides a very nice view to do that. If you're using commands, it is a bit more hectic. You have to always keep running command line way to see that. Source tree makes it very simple. So please do it. It's very powerful. Without putting it in this control, it's not possible to work with it. Okay. So no developer works without this. So every project, it is mandatory. Okay, very good. Let's continue further journey. So we did all these experiments. Now let's see where our code is. Okay. Let's see where our code is, guys. Okay. We did git add. We did git commit. Changes were there in the local repository. It is constantly comparing what you are modifying versus what is there in the repository. And you can play around with all those things. But yes, once your entire changes are done, you want to now push it. All the changes go into the feature branch as well. Okay, and everybody, it's visible for everyone. For example, your team members will go here and they will click on this commit. every developer will have their login. Okay, so let's say they will click on this commit. Okay, and this is the main branch. You have to be careful on the branches. So in the feature branch, just observe, it is tracking all the changes. Okay, initially what changes were available. Okay, then when this happened, then what kind of changes were there. Okay, so it tracks basically everything. Okay, when the subtract happened, that guy tried to remove this kind of a method. It is visible there. So everybody, your team is tracking whatever you are doing stuff. Okay, so please be careful to accidentally or unknowingly don't do any kind of mistakes. Be really careful what you're doing, what you're committing. Don't make any intentional damages in the code. Okay, I will log the password here so that I will see. No, don't do all that nonsense. Be really ethical, responsible of the code that you do. The software which you build will be running in production. So try to build the best that you can, right? Don't make mistakes. Fine, you will learn from mistakes, but be careful. Try to think about what you're doing and try to really build a safe project. Okay, fine. So that was the next topic which we discussed, which was using source tree, we can perform it. And one important power we got it, any change that we do from local IDE, okay, you are always safe. You can directly go to source tree and compare the difference. Okay, and then decide whether to keep or not to keep the changes. Okay, fine. If you are having any further questions, how to do this, how to do that, go to internet, ask ChatGPT. Once the base foundation is ready, you can understand and explore anything because you know why it is required, where it is required, how to work with it. Further exploring will become easy for you. Just a 5 minute job and you can keep learning new and new concepts. But this is what majorly people do. Okay, fine. What is our current state? Our current state is all the code which is there in our local is there in feature branch. So generally what your team lead will be doing, okay, hey, sprint is starting. Like I said in the beginning, let's say morning stand up Monday, I will say, we are going to have a new microservice today, like PayPal provider service. So I will do the required setup. I will make a repository in Bitbucket and it will have an integration branch. Once I put the base package, base project into integration branch, I will inform you so that each one of you can cut a feature branch from that and start with your feature development. And generally within the morning 30 minutes, I will do all this required setup and make it available so that in the morning time itself, all work that you have to do is go to the feature integration branch, cut a new feature branch and start doing your code there. So currently what we did, we have taken the code only to the feature branch. Now the thing is, we need to take this code to the integration branch. That is a separate process altogether. Okay, so take code to integration branch. How do you do that? For that, there is a concept called as pull request or merge request. You're trying to merge these two branches there, right? When you're working in local, it's a different process. You're not merging any branch. You're just taking your local changes and putting it in one branch. Here, when you're working, you are trying to merge one branch changes into another. Here, you're trying to merge one branch changes into another. So it is a separate process altogether. How this happens is using the concept of pull request or merge request. Okay, people in the projects, they might also say PR or MR. Okay, I'm raising a pull request. People will say, I'm raising a PR, I'm raising a MR. They will just use these kind of terms to talk. I'm raising a PR, I'm raising a MR. Means what? Trying to merge one branch to another. Now, this is where the catch comes. When this code is being merged to integration, this is where code review is going to happen. Code review. Let's say you have done this feature development. All your changes are in your feature branch. People will not disturb you. They will give like daily stand-up time. You can ask them questions, this, that. You can explore on internet, build your own feature. Your code review, the final hook point will be when you are putting the change to integration, because that is where it is becoming serious. Integration is what will further go to the testers and the remaining journey. So this is the gate. When you are trying to merge it to integration, here your tech lead is going to do your code review, or your other senior members of the team will do code review. Sometimes your peer will do. Maybe another person who is at entry level itself, they might say, hey, you do the code review, peer review. But generally for juniors, definitely some senior will have a code review kind of a check there. So when the pull request happens, during that process, code review is going to come in picture. So what you are supposed to do, you will know that your changes are in feature branch. Okay, how do we know that? We have done that here. You will go to your source. We have verified it already here that in the feature branch, okay, all our changes are available. Okay, fine. Next, you will go to this pull request section. So today itself, we have seen the source section also. Code is available here. Commit section, all the commits will be available here. Branches section, working with multiple branches. Next, pull request section. Pull request is nothing but PR. You want to raise a request to merge one branch to another branch. How do you do that? Simple, self-explanatory. Create pull request. Okay. So as a developer, you are supposed to do this. Once your changes are available in your feature branch, you will say, I want to raise it now for code review and merging to integration. So what you will do? What is your source branch? Okay, from feature branch. Which destination branch? Be very careful. So from destination, you will say, I want to move it into integration branch. Okay. Now again, Git is very intelligent. It will compare what changes are there in feature branch versus the changes of the integration branch. And let's observe here. It will show you what all changes are available. On the right hand side, you can check the classes and everything also. You can directly go to check the changes. Observe this interesting thing. We first added a subtract method also, and then we removed the subtract method. And that is where, when we try to do this merge request, pull request, it is tracking that both the changes. But when the code is shown to you, in the code, the final difference is shown. So even though you do daily commit, it is final code, whatever is the final code in your feature branch, it will compare that version versus the destination integration branch version and show the final thing. So even if you have done 100 commits, doesn't matter. You might have done 100 commits here, but it will just show the final outcome which your reviewer is going to check. So generally what you do, you click on that create pull request. Next, in this Bitbucket, your all the team member names will be available. Everybody's account will be created here. There is this option add reviewer. You can click on this add reviewer, and when you type the name of your code reviewer, your tech lead, you can just choose it from this drop down list. If the tech lead says, okay, hey, today I'm very busy, please get your code reviewed by this another guy having 4 years experience, so that guy is going to do your code review. So whoever it is, you need to choose the name of your code reviewer, because better than one person, it's good that 2 people always review. So code review is a required practice in the industry. So once they do the code review, okay, after that you add their name here and then say create pull request. So what is your operations? First you click on create pull request button, then you add reviewer. After that you click on create pull request. You can check, okay, is all your code proper? You can verify that. If something is wrong, you fix it now only. If you feel everything is okay, then you create a pull request. Okay. Be careful from which branch to which branch. It is very important. Don't make mistakes here. You're trying to take it directly to master, you're violating a lot of things there. You're not supposed to do that. So be very careful with your branching, where what is happening. So, but yes, our next step is, okay, create pull request from feature branch to integration branch. Okay. And you have to do multiple things here. Check your code changes. Second, be careful with the source and destination branch you are trying to merge. The point is, if you do wrong merging, let's say even tech lead did not focus, is the destination branch correct? And if he merges, then you have to do more work to revert those changes back again. And it makes the integration branch also a bit kind of, again, like apply, then reverse, and then DevOps is going to take those changes, deploy it, create chaos. If you do mistakes in this, it adds more pain to solve the mistakes. So upfront itself, try to be as careful as possible. Okay. So there are ways of reverting all that, but it is very painful and unnecessary. Why do that kind of unnecessary hard work? So be careful which source branch and destination branch you're trying to merge. Next, add reviewer. After that, okay, check your code. We have already mentioned here, check your code, and then click on create pull request. What will happen is everything is automated. So behind the screen, some email is going to go to your reviewer. Okay, hey, this guy has raised a request. Second thing, you can just talk to that person. Hey, I've raised a request. Could you please review it? I need to give it to tester for testing. So you can do that communication. But this guy will get something like this. When that person logs in, okay, options will be something like this: approve, merge. Okay, when the merge button is clicked, then the changes will go from feature to integration. Approve button, sometimes it happens, right? Okay, let's say you're building a very important feature and two developers are supposed to review your change, okay, before you move it to integration. So what will happen? You will add two reviewers here. Okay, and when you add two reviewers, they both can click on approve whenever they have reviewed your code. How are they going to review? Just observe. So this is how reviewer view will be. So as soon as you reviewed, they understood, okay, what changes were done as part of this. They can check your description. Next, they will go to file changes. So this is how the reviewer is going to look at your change. All these plus means these are all new classes, which is written by this guy. So they will go to whatever classes and one by one start comparing. If they have any feedback, here they will click on this plus symbol and then they will give some comments there itself. Okay, hey, we don't find this right, we don't find that right, and then you will get some notifications. Okay, and then you can start with your fixing these comments. So there will be a process like that if there are any improvements required. So wherever, whichever line, so I'm saying cancel. Let's say here they are finding this kind of line and they will click on this add and then put a comment here. Okay, hey, don't take it as request parameter, take it as a request body. This is not really a good practice. They will keep adding all that and you will keep seeing those notifications. Then you have to fix all of those things and you can then again re-update the link. But yes, there is a process for that. You can figure, check it out. It's just some button clicks and you can experiment doing this kind of a process and you will figure it out. It's very self-explanatory and intuitive as well. But yes, this kind of review will happen. Okay, and then they will say, okay, fine, I approve these changes. Okay, if they don't really like it and they feel, hey, you have done a blunder, this is not right, they can anytime decline your merge. They say, no, we are not going to take it forward. There are a lot of changes. First, you have to fix it, and then they will decline your merge request. And then you have to fix all those things, test it once again, then raise a pull request, and then they will review, and then they will be merging it. So there is a cycle which will happen here. Okay, fine. But eventually, the changes will be merged into integration branch. Will happen by clicking this merge button. Okay, continue with the default merging strategy. From feature branch to integration branch, reviewer is going to do this, and then it will say merge. Generally, this takes a few seconds. Just observe the branch is in merge state. Okay, so when it is in merge state, means everything is in integration also now. Okay, so when this merge happens, it means everything is in integration branch. Okay, can we check that? In source tree, also you can verify these things. Click on history. Okay, just observe right now what is the view. Two feature branches are here, integration branch is here, right? Something we did it in Bitbucket. You want the latest changes, whatever is happening in Bitbucket, those changes should come to your local source tree. That is where fetch operation is there. Because we did something in Bitbucket directly without going to source tree tool. We want to see what is happening there. You can use the fetch operation. What it will do is fetch from all remotes. It will take the latest status and it will reflect it into your local scenario. Just observe. And what it is telling, that at 12:57, just 1 minute earlier, changes from feature branch, observe this line, this tells a lot. Changes from feature branch is moved into integration branch. So everything is clear here. What is that? This pink line talks about feature branch. That first, from the initial place, a feature branch was created. In that, on 12:30, this kind of coding happened. It was done by this person. After 7 minutes, in the same feature branch, this kind of change was removed. And then at 12:57, this kind of a person has taken merge into integration. So everything is clear. Now the code is in integration. You can verify this by going to the cloud location also. You go to the source here, okay, and then click on integration. And you can see the code is available here. We did not do any coding in integration. How did the code come here? We merged it. This will happen one time by your tech lead for the beginning state of the project. Now just imagine rest of the developers are there and you need to start your development. Guys, before we take the attendance, let's do one quick activity. Open up your notepad and can you write down the steps? Based upon the current system, all the changes are in integration. Can you write down bullet points, what you are supposed to do if you want to develop new code, new feature in this PayPal provider service? Everybody, open notepad and do this activity. Okay, current state of the system is all the PayPal provider base project is available in integration branch. Now assume you are developer D2. What are your actions? That's the question. Please open up a notepad and write down. Currently, base project is in integration branch. Okay, if you are developer D2, what are you supposed to do? Write bullet points. Chalo guys, everybody, write bullet points. I will keep this diagram in front of you and then you can start filling it up. Those who already have working background of all this, it will be easy for them. But those who are first time listening to all this, thoda sa put some thinking here. What will you do next? After that, we will take the answers and then we will be taking attendance and completing session. And once you are done with this, please mark this poll. So if there are a few members who say, then we will continue with the next thing. Okay, did you complete your Git? Did you complete your notepad? Okay, next actions. Yes. So first you do it, after that come and mark your poll. I will keep this diagram. So current situation is already there is a Git repo, there is main, there is integration. That's it. There are no these feature branches. And now you are a developer starting with the development which you need to do in feature 2. So how you will be doing it, that is the question. What will be your steps? Write down those steps in your local. Once you're written with this, we will just take the attendance and we will connect tomorrow. And right from tomorrow, we will start with feature development. OAuth integration is going to happen right tomorrow. So when you are in interview, you have to tell features, what features have you built? So from tomorrow, we will start that. So today's setup, everything is very mandatory. So you can code tomorrow. Okay. And then when the last day of this sprint, week 4, day 5, we will discuss how to put this project in interview and like put it into your resume and explain during interview. So guys, what will be your next steps? Okay, 13 members have already completed. That's wonderful. Okay, rest of the members also 14. Very good. Okay, let's just wait for one more minute. 17. That is awesome. And guys, if possible, if you are available, join morning 8:30 time also. So it will give a nice structure to your day. Every day morning 8:30, you are doing planning for the day, what needs to be done, and then you get 1 hour 9 to 10. So you can do something there, and then you can start. Fine, 25 members completed. Let's quickly just revise the topic. Okay, just observe for the next 5 minutes. Just observe. Okay, you are a developer who wants to work upon PayPal provider service. Somebody in the project will give you the Bitbucket link of this. Okay, you will go here. You will say, okay, fine. So there are some projects. Every feature, we need to develop it on a new feature branch. You will come here. You will click on create branch. Then you will choose, I want to create a feature from integration branch. If you choose main, so there is no code in main. Everything has moved to integration. From this, I want to create a feature 2. So first, you will create a feature 2 branch. Okay, done. Next, in order to work with this, you need to have a local sync folder. Otherwise, you cannot put anything here. So you will go ahead with checkout in source tree. Okay. So already source tree should be installed. Once you have it, checkout in source tree. It gives you a pop-up. Don't use the checkout operation. Go ahead with a clone new. Be freshly organized. We want to take feature F2, where you will keep it in your local. We will keep it under repo. You will keep it under this project because it is with regards to this repository. And then you will choose a separate sub project. Let's see how we will do that. Nothing but be organized in your local. So we will be putting the project here, and then we will say PayPal provider F2. Okay, and then feature 2, you're cloning into a new location. Fine, clone it. That will be your next action. Same thing what we did earlier. I'm doing one more recap. It's like cherry on the top, stamping the understanding. So once you have it, the changes are in your local. Okay, and currently this is the state. Just see the history. You have to learn to read this history. It is saying whatever is there in integration branch is also available in feature 2. That is what this graph means here. Okay, fine. Next, you check it in your local that yes, feature 2 is created. All the changes are available there. You want to start doing coding of your feature. You do that only from IDE. So you need to import this location into your IDE here. Okay, so previous location, I'm just closing this. And now we will be importing the new one. Right click, import existing Maven project, and then you do like this. Whatever is the folder name, you will be choosing the same name here as the name template, and then go ahead with finish. So it will now import a new project for you. Okay, it will import a new project for you. Now you can imagine, if you do use shortcuts, add controller, you need to be careful. Same class name add controller might be there in different projects which you have. So you have to be careful which add controller. Sometimes developers make mistake here also, because multiple branches are there. Every branch will have a add controller. F1 is also having, F2 is also having. So you need to be careful. The partial code you are putting in one branch, partial code in another branch. So that is where, what is a developer good practice? When you are working on feature F2, you close the F1 so there is no confusion. Okay, so what do? You close this project. So what happens automatically? F1 is closed. There is no chance of touching F1. So when you do this Control Shift R, add controller, you are seeing only first tab and this one. First tab was also for initial testing. So you will close that one also. So by this way, you will only keep working on the important currently active projects. No need to have everything open. And then you do add controller and just see, then confusion can be avoided. So if you are more organized, you will be able to better manage all this. Fine. Once you have this, now you make whatever changes. Let's say I am adding some space. Okay, you added some space. You go back to your source tree. Now in the source tree, one view is of F1, another view is of F2. Every sync folder repo that you have, you're creating it. Go to this file status. Go to this add controller. Notice even the space that we have added, there is 2 dot here. Everything is tracked. Space changes are also tracked. It is done. And now you have to decide, do you want to add this space change? And that is where you will say, yes, I want to. Adding space change. But why space change? Who does that? So you can revert it. No, I don't want to take it further. You can just do a minus, it will come back. And you can say it was just like that. I will right click and I will discard the change. So you will just discard the change. And then you're back to the same state where there is no space here. So by this way, it's a cycle. Then you make changes, then you git add, git commit, git push, and then merge to integration. That is the remaining cycle. Okay? So guys, as part of today, complete all these actions. Tomorrow onwards, OAuth is going to start. Okay, very good. Let's take the attendance. Please note, we will be creating a new location. Okay, I will do this immediately after our today's session, because week 2 was refund and exit process. So all the members who exited are not available. So now we will create a third folder, session material V3, and in the V3 all the code will be there right from day 1 till latest. You need to track the V3 location. Okay, and one more like this iteration will happen in the week number 4 also. Okay, so there are some changes there, just be aware. I will keep sharing all the required information in the WhatsApp group to you. But today a new location will be created, and all the today's session, the recordings, everything will be updated in the new location, and it will be shared into your WhatsApp group. Okay, fine. So I will keep informing you all those details. For now, just attendance form, task form, everything is the same thing like earlier. Okay, here we are. Let's go. Okay, not here. Copy responder link. Where is our code? Good, 31 members have completed. That is awesome. Okay, code for today is 5555. Okay, chalo guys, and welcome to the week number 3. I'm telling you, every single day now, lot of discussions will happen. Projects, features, functionality, your mind is going to just get blown up. Hey, bhai, kya chal raha hai, right? So initial 10 days were preparation, so that now you can understand all these further topics. Maza aega. It will be an interesting journey. All throughout the 7 weeks, you will find wonderful things. Okay? Chalo guys, please mark this attendance. Meanwhile, stopping the recordings, live, and stopping the transcription.